Once Sinnoh is severely wounded from Infernape's close combat, and Sport decides that he's had enough of this and tries to wrap it up with a powerful flare blitz as Infernape in an emblaze mode is turning into a small ball by slamming it all fours to Snow, and Candace's Pokemon is literally knocked out from the super effective move as Candace simply recalls her Pokemon and she has now personally never felt so one-sided in a Pokemon battle with this particular trainer, and she is the youngest, and she wants to present Paul in a polite manner, but again, Paul just simply grabs it and remarks that even though she is a tougher gym leader than previous one that he fought, but Kenneth is clearly a very young gym leader and shown it, and Paul isn't impressed by it as Paul just rudely just walk away and not impressed in his battle, and it wasn't even a warm-up for most of his Pokemon. As Paul continued on his journey, it's clearly ever since Mount Fauna evolved into Fernape, Paul is continuously using Inferno in almost every battle that Paul is across other trainers, to the point where becoming Paul's strongest ace in his party, even putting down Electabuzz in few cases that Inferno simply wipes through. And because of that, Electabuzz seems to be now back down in the pecking order, as Inferno is establishing itself to be the more dominant Pokemon in Paul's group here. And Electabuzz doesn't like that because this Grunt used to be the weakest of the in past party, and now is becoming a top priority in the team. And Electabuzz, it seems to get a little nervous, but most importantly, quite angered. And because of this, Electabuzz tries to make a big fight over it, but until it quickly mistaken that Infernape is no longer the same Pokemon that he thought of, because Inferno is no longer trying to stop himself from battling Electabuzz, and because that Inferno is becoming a much more aggressive Pokemon, Inferno doesn't hold back and actually attacks Electabuzz to the point where Boss has to stop it to from stopping Inferno from attacking Electabuzz, and Inferno is simply glaring at Electabuzz, don't ever try to mess with me again, as Inferno is going back to his training regimen with the other Pokemons, and Electrap seems to be in a quite angered motion, and Paul is saying that Electabuzz seems to be very angry, and he wants to let all his frustrations out. And so Paul came to Electabuzz and simply asked, "Would you like to wanting to evolve?" And without ever hesitation, Electabuzz seems to take that. And the next day, as Infernape is in a practice battle with Torterra, and Infernape is getting warm up, but unfortunately, Chimchar seems to having enough with his training, and Infernape is quite angered by that, so he just goes back to hitting the rocks until his close combat is somewhat improved until he gets struck by a Thunderbolt, and Electabuzz imagine it's probably Electabuzz again trying to mess with him again until Electabuzz is replaced from the small Electabuzz into a much more giant Yeti, and the giant Yeti just taunts Infernape, and this becomes a huge brawl, and Paul is just watching the side to want to see if these two are really trying to bring out the best parts or actually trying to kill each other. And so we fade away to a different perspective. As Ash is like in Canada trying to recover from the devastating loss, but luckily in the region he's finally get his confidence back and vows to beat Paul no matter what, and trying to train twice as harder the next time they meet. As Ash, just like in the original episode, will go pretty similarly where Ash would meet Barry, but for some strange reason, unlike the anime, Paul isn't there. so meaning Ash wouldn't battle Paul, but he would have battled Barry. But that's not important until we get to the episode where Ash battles Wagner for the badge, but unexpectedly Wagner isn't inspired to battle and just giving away the gym badge. And Ash, is quite upset by this and actually wants a proper challenge from the gym leader. That until his friend Blame tries to encourage Wagner by actually battling Ash onto if Ash could get him excited as far as Ash faces Blame here. Flint in a 3-on-3 as Flint sends out Inferno and Ash is kinda taken back even though this isn't exactly the same Inferno that Ash fought with Falls one. But Ash is still watching over Flint's bug because Ash is facing up a very tough Pokemon in Elite Four nonetheless. Regardless, Ash decided to send out a counter with Blizzard, but unfortunately just like the original, even though Blizzard is at first at a good position with using powerful moves like Aqua Jet and Water Pulse, but Inferno is in a whole different Pokemon entirely, as Inferno just simply puts it down with powerful Flare Blitz. As Ash is returning back to Blizzard, and he decides that he's gonna fight fire with fire. It's Ash out Magmortar to battle, as Ash at first thinking that fire might be solve the answer, but unfortunately, even though Magmortar is a significant stronger Pokemon, Flint's Furnace still managed to put down major damage against Magmortar. Even though Magmortar's rock type moves like rock type should put it in a position where it could use its Thunder Punch, but unfortunately Inferno discounted with its close combat, allowing for Inferno to directly hit Magmortar when it desperately did, meaning that Ash is knocked out with the other Pokemon, and Ash is forcibly has to send out a Pokemon, but weirdly, even though it's a bad choice at first, but Ash has a strange feeling in sending out Grotto, and everyone is quite surprised Ash's choice, but it seems to be excited. They're thinking that Ash might have something crazy, as Flynn commands for Inferno to use a power flamethrower, everyone expected for Grotto to be engulfed with flame, but surprisingly Grotto seemed to took the flame and actually surprised Inferno just alerted enough for Grotto to land a powerful earth power, and during the process of this battle, Grotto is doing surprisingly well, and Ash has been saying out loud the two has been doing some real training ever since the battling with bosses in Inferno, and decided that Grotto's weakness with fire might be the problem, so Ash and Grotto decides to try to get Grotto to resist fire attacks which with the help of Magmortar, which allows Grotto to handle the heat much more better. But unfortunately, Ash and Garter is still facing up against the Elite Four mental Flint, and once Flint gets his crit grouping back on, allowing Inferno to use a powerful flamethrower. But then, if everyone expected for Garter to be finally out for its amazing performance, suddenly its ability overgrow forces its evolution to evolve into Torterra, but Torterra's amazing power allows it to use a brand new move for causing a powerful earthquake, slamming the whole area in rumbles, and this might actually got Inferno to stumble a little. In so fact, it almost got it to be knocked out, but unfortunately, Inferno managed to hit much more harder the powerful Flare Blitz, and unfortunately, Torterra is knocked out from this, but surprisingly, Walking even sees Ash's great performance facing up against an opponent that he thought he might never win, but Ash gave it all his heart against Faulkner to get him motivated to battle, and because of that, Ash and Faulkner will have their proper battle, and after a few days worth, as Ash and Faulkner meet as they wait for the referee. As Ash and Wagner waiting for the referee to commence the battle, as Wagner being the gym leader will obviously send out the first Pokemon, sending out his Raichu that's been standing by, and Ash kinda expected that, so he has a perfect counter, but secretly wanting to keep his secret weapon until Wagner's powerful Pokemon, Ash decided to send out his toughest Pokemon to battle, sending out Magmortar to battle. And once the battle begins, immediately Raichu uses its higher speed to its advantage by using its move agility, allowing Raichu to be much more faster than the average Raichu and easily sucking around Magmortar in circles, but Ash doesn't turn away from this and commanding for Magmortar to crash down Raichu with a powerful rock tomb, as Magmortar commands a powerful rock tomb from the sky, and this does seem to chip away Raichu a bit because it could not avoid most of the rocks falling over, but isn't enough to turn away from the mouse Pokemon, as Volkner simply commands for a powerful Thunderbolt, as Raichu has a perfect clear shot at Magmortar, allowing it to do some real damage to Magmortar, but Magmortar, being a very tough Pokemon, doesn't go down that easy, and simply is quite angered by this and plans to use a powerful flamethrower, using its second arm for a second blast, as Raichu, even though it's quite fast, but as Magmortar having a second arm allowing it to use twice flamethrower doesn't allow for Raichu to move to avoid most of the damage. As Volkner simply commands for Raichu to charge forward, and this gets Ash to be quite taken aback by that, thinking that Volkner wants to take the attack far away as possible, but Raichu is simply charging again towards Magmortar, and thanks to its move from the agility, allowing Raichu to catch up to Magmortar's up close and landing a powerful break by landing a vicious tail attack from Magmortar, but it doesn't tap towards the fire Pokemon and simply plan for another Thunder Punch directly towards Raichu at the side, and this to simply stop for a moment until Raichu continue on circling around Magmortar through rocks and to underneath its feet to land a powerful Thunderbolt. In this does seem to do a lot of damage, and Ash isn't sure what to do because even though Magmortar could easily get Raichu knocked out of the battle, but if he can't land it, it's going to be a very difficult situation. Until Ash has a brilliant idea that just might be crazy, so he commands for Magmortar for a rock tomb, as Magmortar this time sends more rocks, but unfortunately Raichu is still catching on its attack pattern and allowing it to avoid most of the damage, but to its surprise Magmortar isn't trying to move on, which gets Volkner a bit odd, but doesn't matter because he commands for Raichu to do a powerful thunder, and this time the thunder seems to strike through at Magmortar, but to Volkner's surprise Magmortar isn't taking the damage and simply grits it on, and this time landing a powerful thunder punch directly towards Raichu, as this move seems to knock out Raichu, making everyone quite shocked by this, including Volkner. He didn't expect for Magmortar to produce so much electricity, even though he's not even electric type, and quickly realized flashing back as Magmortar has used its second arm to the ground so that it doesn't fully get all the electric damage from it and planting to the ground, and it's using the thunder to charge up Thunder Punch directly towards Raichu, which is quite clever for Ash's part, but unfortunately once Volkner returns Raichu, as he's gonna send a Pokemon that Ash has really never seen, perhaps once but rarely, as Volkner seems to send out Rotom, but this Rotom seems to be very different, taking a form of a washing machine, as Ash is pull out the Pokédex, seeing that it's clearly a Rotom, but it's still very differently, and it's very clear that why Volkner chose this particular Rotom, as he commands for Rotom Wash to command for a powerful Hydro Pump. Luckily, Magmortar managed to react by countering it with a Thunder Punch because the attack is too large for it to avoid that attack, but it still took serious damage, and if Magmortar takes one more hit, then it's nearly knocked out, as Volkner simply commands for Rotom to plan a swallow, as this gets Ash to be quite taken aback because he remembers that same move that Richie did to him a few months ago with the swallow, and realizing that this is perhaps Wagner's most focused Pokemon, and because Ash can't allow this to get all of his health back, and trying to knock it out as fast as possible by commanding for powerful Sun by a flamethrower, but unfortunately Rotom seems to counter the flamethrower with a powerful Hydro Pump, and unfortunately Magmonster is overwhelmed and simply knocked out from the attack, leaving Ash one Pokemon out of KO from the battle as Ash recalls Magmonster and feeling a bit risky, but knowing that he has one Pokemon that could take out a tanky Pokemon if that tanky Pokemon never lands a hit, as Ash sends out Frost Slash to battle. Once Froslass is sent out for battle, as the battle begins and Wagner isn't wasting any time and planning for a powerful Hydro Pump, but unlike Magmortar, Froslass seems to be a much more speedier Pokemon compared to the Fire type. Ash has been training with Froslass, and Ash knows what Froslass is capable of, but this is their first time having a real battle, so there might be a slight disadvantage on their part, but Froslass being a very experienced Pokemon, as she has a previous trainer, meaning that she is well adapted, but not towards Ash particularly, because Ash is a very different compared to her other trainer. But luckily, Froslass managed to dodge out of the way and summon a huge hail, covering the battlefield with snow. And Wagner is taken aback by this, but not isn't too worried because his Rotom is the most tankiest Pokemon that he has, and even though Hail might do some shit damage, but it won't be enough to take out Rotom, as he commands for Rotom to boost up his defense by using Swallow, as Rotom seems to bulk up, and it seems like this Hail is doing some shit damage, but not drastically, while Froslass on the other hand, being an ice type isn't too affected from that and actually loves the environment that it just created, and Rocket isn't having enough of this and commanding for powerful Thunderbolt, but to its surprise, Froslass doesn't even attempt to do much effort by dodging the way, as it simply faded in the hill and appeared right in front behind it, shocking Wagner and trying to command for Rotom to get back, but unfortunately Froslass lands a powerful Shadow Ball, doing some good amount of damage, and Rotom quickly turns around, planning for a Hydro Pump, but this previously is repeatedly like the previous time, because Froslass simply fade away, simply avoiding attack entirely. And once Ash calls for a Blizzard, as Froslass with this move in the hell is nowhere it could miss, and planning a powerful Blizzard towards Rotom. Luckily, it's a water type, meaning it should be resisting some of the damage, but unfortunately, the Blizzard is a very powerful ice type move, which simply puts Rotom in a critical state, but luckily Wagner just commands for Rotom to swap. The previous stock-up has been building up Rotom and commanding for Swallow, as Rotom is simply fully back to health, letting his ashes as thinking this is quite annoying. He's not sure how well it's going to last because he knows that Froslass's hair wouldn't last forever, and Ash needs to quickly end this once and for all, and commanding for a powerful Blizzard once again. And Water isn't going to get a hit, as he commands for Rotom to use a powerful Hydro Pump, but on the ground, allowing it the one place where Froslass couldn't hit from the sky, as Rotom is very high up on the ceiling, and clearly from the high sky point you could see Froslass, and Voltor commands for a powerful Thunderbolt, as this drastically hits Froslass majorly, but luckily Froslass managed to shake off the damage and landing for a powerful Shadow Ball, and this move does actually do some side effect, as the Shadow Ball seems to lower its special defense, as Ash and Froslass notice, and Ash taking the advantage from the lower set, commanding for a powerful Blizzard, and this time Rotom's defense is no longer there, and it's just even lower, as this attack managed to win Froslass from the battle, forcing Wagner to return Tom Wash and sending out Luck straight to battle. As Frost is ready to continue on the battle as Ash commands for a blizzard, but Ash immediately notices the blizzard isn't as strong, and noting it's actually not as powerful because it's not as a larger attack as Lakshya managed to dodge out the way, and Ash noticed that he seems to finally stop, and immediately Farsight in a very ghostly material figure suddenly is as Lakshya could clearly see it once again, and its ability and Wagner simply explained its Frost's ability Snow Cloak, allowing her to increase her ability to dodge more attack, and because that she heavily relies on her, which makes her much more vulnerable for attack. But Ash won't let that happen as Ash commands for Shadow Ball, but unfortunately Luxray easily dodged away and simply charged in for a powerful wild charge, and Frosta desperately tries to attack Luxray with a powerful blizzard, but unfortunately it can't simply hit Roxy as it darts around the battlefield and taking the form like the similar strategy as Raichu, but this time Luxray it seems to be much more powerful and squarely hits against Frostrat as it does major damage, and Frostrat desperately tries to use a powerful blizzard, which does manage to hit Luxray, but it partially frozen its lower leg, but not full, fully frozen as Luxray attempts to break itself as Frostlight does give her the chance to land a powerful Shadow Ball, but unfortunately once it does hit Luxray, it's revealed that Frostlight seems to have Luxray from the ice, allowing Luxray to charge full forward with a powerful crunch attack, and this super effective move allowing Luxray to defeat Frostlight easily. As Ash returns Frostlight to her Pokeball, as Ash has one more Pokemon left, but luckily he has a secret weapon that should put down Wagner as he sends out Torterra to battle. But even though Wagner is facing up against a Pokemon which has a good advantage over Luxray, but he won't give up that easy as he was inspired by Ash's previous battle with his best friend Blaze, as he commands for Luxray to quickly charge in for powerful crunch attack, but Ash quickly commands for Torterra to recently use his newest move recently by commanding for a rock slide as Torterra summons rocks from the top, and it doesn't seem to be hitting Roxy. It's actually is controlling Roxy to the point where Ash specifically wanted to, as Roxy is tackling front of it, which Wagner immediately recognized and tries to call for Roxy to retreat, but unfortunately Roxy is in a trap from Ash and Torterra as Torterra launches a powerful Giga Drain, which is zapping away some of Luxray's health here. Even though Ash thinks that he should be winning, should be a victor by now, but unfortunately Luxray used a powerful Ice Fang, and this time it does 4 times effect against Torterra, forcing it to let go, which means the both of them exchange pretty good damage to each other, but knowing the two will refuse to go down that easily, as Ash is not holding back anymore, and constantly telling Torterra to command for a powerful earthquake as Torterra slams its huge hand towards the ground, and Akshay just simply couldn't avoid from the earthquake and forced to take it on, but it doesn't seem to stop. It seems to charge forward and attempting to use a wild charge, which forces Ash to be in bizarre. If he knows that Wagner that move wouldn't affect Torterra in any sort of way, but unfortunately for Ash, Luxray is using the wild charge to boost its speed, allowing it to get Torterra off guard as it simply shuts down wild charge and landing for a powerful Ice Fang, as this does major damage to Torterra, but luckily Torterra seems to shake it off as he did manage to send Luxray in the air, and Ash commands for a powerful energy ball, and Torterra charges the strongest energy ball that it could muster, landing towards Luxray, and unfortunately for Wagner, being the toughest gym leader in Sinnoh, but unfortunately he couldn't overcome Ash's Torterra, as Torterra is the victor yet standing tall over Luxray, giving Ash the final 8 badge that he desperately needed. Yeah.